Happy Friday, everyone. And as you can probably tell from the format, we are going to be doing another interview today. And today I have Scott and Jackie with me. And I found out about Scott and Jackie through the I Go Panama Facebook group, which you should definitely join. It's linked below. Estefany Morales, as you know, anytime I talk about anything cars on this channel, I tell you that Estefany is my go-to gal. She's my hero. She helped us through our wreck. She deals with all of our car insurance, everything. She posted in the group about this scam. And I had never heard of this scam, but then a lot of other people were saying, that happens to me, that happens to me, that happens to me. And I was like, uh-oh, we're on to something here. So we need to talk about it, get to the bottom of it, and hopefully prevent any of you guys from running into this problem when you're driving in Panama, because, you know, knowledge is power. And if you know what to look out for, you can know what to avoid. All right, so we are going to talk with Scott and Jackie. They're going to talk us through their entire experience. And that way you're going to know what to look for if this happens to you on the roads in Panama. So before we get started, let me quickly just say, make sure you click subscribe, make sure you click notify. We are bringing you content about anything and everything Panama every single week, and you don't want to miss out. And without further ado, here are Scott and Jackie to kind of give us their story. So you guys just moved to Panama, correct?
Well, we've been a member of your group for almost 2 years now.
Wow.
And we have been in total since February last year in country about 6 months.
Okay, so you've been here a little while.
We are permanent residents. We have just completed our e-cedulas.
Great.
So we have driver's licenses. We bought a car this time down because last time I was told that when I turned 80, I would never be able to rent again. So, and I have turned 80, so that's it. We had to buy a car.
I was about to say, you don't have to worry about that for another 20 years. What do you care?
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And we have to second your recommendation of Estefany Morales. She helped us buy the car. She helped us find it. It was wonderful.
God helped us with her driver's license and the test and the whole process. It was
everything.
awesome.
Anything cars. Estefany is the person. And again, I'll link all of her information down below in the video description so people can reach her.
Well, worth the money.
Very well worth the money.
So to start our to give a little background, when we were down last year, we stayed places for 1 and 2 days at a time. We did over 6,000 kilometers in 6 weeks.
Wow.
And we had come down with the full intention of buying a place and having our place and being all settled in. Well, we decided there's too damn many nice places in Panama. So this time we're trying to spend a week or 2 in each place. And we had been down to the southern tip of the Azuero Peninsula near Pedicee, and we were going to Torrio, which is on the other side of the Azuero Peninsula. And when we went on Google Maps and Waze, they said, well, you got to go clear up the Inter-American Highway, but there is a shortcut. It's the scenic route. So we took the scenic route. It was going to take 2 hours longer than going up the Inter-American. It took us 2 days.
it was rough roads.
It was rough roads. I mean, it was, but we ended up damaging the car. So when we finally got back to the city, Estefany found us a mechanic and fixed the car up. We had just gotten the car back and we were headed out of town to do some other things, and we're just gotten on Ruta Norte. And so we'd gotten up to some speed, maybe 60 kilometers an hour. All of a sudden, somebody drove up beside us, their horn honking and their window down, and they're screaming and pointing at our front tire. Get off, get it, you know, and yelling in Spanish. Our Spanish is muy poco, muy poquito. Yes. It gets better day by day, but we're working. But anyway, he was obviously distressed and pointing down, and so we pulled off the side of the road, and I got out and I moved the wheel around and I looked at it and I couldn't see anything. So we got back in the car and started off again. Well, immediately here comes another car with another person that pointing down and you know, look of horror on their face, your wheel's about to come off kind of thing. So we stop again, and I got out again, and I had Jackie move the steering wheel, and we grew up on farms in Wyoming, so I've done a little mechanic work.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say I'm accomplished, but we've done. But anyway, couldn't see anything. We were about
So
to
this
get
is
back in the
two
car.
separate vehicles.
Yes, yes.
Vehicles.
Well,
Wow,
it gets
that
better.
is choreographed.
But
Yeah.
wait, there's more.
Okay.
Because now we're about to get back in the car, and a woman walking down the street says, "Oh no, don't leave. I saw it too. There's something wrong with your car." So now we're sitting there, and she says, "Let me help you park." So she helped us get into a narrow parallel
They
parking
just
place to get
happened to
us
be there.
to get
Oh,
off
well,
the
how
road a little bit
convenient.
more.
Yeah.
And we're standing there trying to figure out what the heck to do. And I was about to call Stephanie when a man in a very clean, very starchly pressed mechanic's uniform from from the big Toyota dealer that was just down the road there. He walked by and he says, "I'm walking to work. Can I help you?" And we said, "Well," and he did that. He had a little bit of English. He had more English than we had Spanish. But anyway, and he says, "Well, get in the car and turn the wheel, and I'll look." And by golly, I turn the wheel, and he reaches under the car, and a couple minutes later pulls his arm out, and his arm's covered with grease and oil, and he's got a nut and a broken washer in his hand. He says, "Your steering's shot."
Yeah, and we believed him.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't you believe him? You know, especially when you've had like 3 people saying something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then so he says, "But I work at the Toyota dealership down here, and we can fix it." So he says, "But your transmission's cracked, and to be able to get it fixed, we have to put oil in it, and the oil's a special oil, and I'll need $100 to get the oil." So we gave him $100. Okay. Well, and then we waited for maybe 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. And he shows up with 2 other people wearing mechanics uniforms, a man and a woman.
With a box.
And with a box of parts. And he says, "Okay, we've got all the parts we need to fix it." And so they fool around a little bit under the car, and they pull out 2 pieces of steering linkage. That they had to have them up in their sleeves of their uniforms.
Right.
How they hit it, I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
but 2 identical, and I'm mechanic enough to recognize steering linkage and to recognize that they were broken. They were badly damaged.
They were moving. They were rigid.
But anyway, and they open the box and they show us new ones. And they say, "Well, we can fix you here. It'll take about 40 minutes to get you fixed, and it'll only be $8,700.
Yes, that's what we did.
Oh,
and that's what we did.
What a bargain!
So anyway, here we are sitting with apparently our both steering linkages out of the car. They're laying on the ground there, and they're all dirty and they're broken.
So we called
a Stephanie. Well, she didn't answer, and I mean it was a long involved process.
So we left a panic message.
Oh yeah, we left several messages. And then we got her secretary, and we left more panic messages. But anyway, eventually we got to Stephanie, and she talked to these people and told them to go away.
Really? That's good.
And she called a wrecker, and the wrecker showed up and took the car back to the place that had worked on it, her place. And he inspected it, and he said, "Man, there's nothing wrong with this. It's perfect." Yeah. So anyway, that's the story. And I'm not going to tell you how the scam artists could have improved their scam. That we figured. Yeah. I don't want them reading this. Yeah. But we figured out that what they could have said and done to get us to agree, and fortunately we were in the city. We had Stephanie available to us.
Right.
And she gave us great advice.
And they were doing things. I mean, it was too many coincidences at that time. But so far we've had 6 people involved in this.
6 people.
and their uniforms were beautiful. You know, I mean, you know, mechanics' uniforms here, they love them. They take care of them, and they had all the patches, the Toyota patch and the dealership patch and all that stuff, you know.
And they came with a brand new Toyota box with the new parts.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
So anyway.
That is unbelievable. Just like, because maybe if one person was doing that to me, I might be like, yeah, whatever. But when it's multiple cars pointing at you and someone walking by saying, oh my gosh, look what's wrong with your car. I mean,
you're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
At some point you start thinking there's something wrong.
Absolutely. And you're in a foreign country. And look, I want to make it really clear to everyone out there, the Panamanian people as a whole are some of the kindest, most
they are wonderful.
Wonderful people you will ever run across in your life, which is probably why a lot of people would fall for this scam, because I know myself, I'm pretty trusting of most Panamanians, you know, especially when it's multiple ones like that.
And
they were so that this mechanic was so kind and saying, I can help you here. You know what?
Oh yeah.
And I started taking pictures, you know, the parts and the people, and he was kind enough to open the door and says, it's too hard, set in the car. So we'll
he
do
didn't
the
want photographs taken.
And
it turns out that the photographs we have of the scam artists, they were all wearing surgical masks. And
they were all wearing COVID masks, huh?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
So we do have
where
pictures
it's not
of them.
required anymore. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Which is another key, I think, at this point. If everybody you see is wearing COVID masks, there's probably something.
They're trying to hide something, and not necessarily their, you know, contagion. Yeah.
Hindsight is so good, isn't it?
It is. I'm so happy you guys only lost $100.
Yeah. Oh, so are we.
Because I know, like, the reason why I wanted to put this story out there is because once Estefani posted it, so many people were saying that this had happened to them. And so I was like, this is information that people need to know, because I'm telling you, if I was driving by myself and I didn't have my husband with me, I would totally fall for this. I don't even know that I would have called Estefani, even though she's like my right-hand woman. You know, I probably would have just been, something's wrong with the vehicle. Multiple people have confirmed it. I know nothing about cars other than turn ignition, push gas, push brake, and go.
Yes.
Yes, and if I hadn't had experience with mechanics before, I think I probably, you know, I don't know what we'd have thought, but it just, there was nothing wrong with the damn car.
Right. I mean, and you didn't feel anything when you were driving at all, right?
That's right. I have driven cars with broken parts, and they don't feel the same as the car that's working. They don't feel the same.
Right. And Stephanie took our word at it, and she was wondering if maybe her mechanic may have done something wrong. So she did have it checked out, and it made sure it was brought to him, and he was he was accountable too. So it was.
If you have mechanical problems or car problems in the city, call Stephanie Morales.
Absolutely. We take our car to her mechanic in La Torrera. I'm not sure where the mechanic is. I know she has a couple of them, like in Panama City, and then the one in La Torrera is a little closer to us. And he has been absolutely wonderful. We've taken him when we've had vehicle problems, and we've also taken it to him when we just needed oil change and brake pad change, just like general maintenance, because honestly, I trust him more than I even do the dealerships around here. And not because the dealerships are trying to like scam you, but they're expensive. They're really expensive. Yeah.
Well, if Stephanie got her car fixed for $1,700 and the dealership quarters $3,800. So
that also was very nice.
Exactly. Well, again, I am so glad that everything turned out great for you guys. And I want to thank you so much for sharing your story, because a lot of people get a little ashamed when something happens to them and they don't want to talk about it.
We're old enough to know better.
I understand. understand. Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like, you know, if I make a mistake, I want to put it out there for
Yes.
Yep.
to save other people from making the same
That's
mistake I did, you know,
Right.
because like I said, apparently this is a pretty prevalent type of scam that's happening on the roads. So viewers, if
these
you're out
guys
there
were,
driving,
yeah,
oh, go
this
ahead.
was obviously choreographed. We were
Oh,
not the
yeah.
first person they've done this to. They had it down. Boy, it just happened. Snap, snap, snap. They
Yeah.
knew we were going to pull away the first time, you know, because we couldn't find anything wrong. So they had that next car just
Ready to
He had
go.
to be just idling down the road from us, you know, waiting for us to pull away so he could pull up and honk. And
So if you need to see what they look like, Stephanie posted the pictures we took.
Oh,
you can go on
really?
her site.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you
I'll
can
go
see
get the
that.
pictures from her then and tack them on to the end of the video so we can get it
Yeah.
out there. Yeah, it's amazing. I always wonder, like, when people put so much effort into creating a crime, how about just put that much effort into an honest day's living? I don't know. Well, probably because
Yes.
wages here are
Yes.
lower and scams
well,
pay
if
a
we'd
lot
have paid
better.
them their $8,700, I mean, that would have been a nice,
Woo!
a nice,
That
a
would have
nice
been
day's work.
That would have been a very nice day's work for six people.
Even for 6 people, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think the bottom line here, viewers, is if you're driving in Panama, and most of the people that I saw that were saying that this had happened to them, it had happened in Panama City. So be especially aware in Panama City, but obviously anywhere in the country. If someone is pointing and trying to get you to pull over because something is wrong, think twice before you hand them money. Really make sure. And like I said, this is the time when you need a Stephanie on your side. Again, her information will be linked below. If you have your insurance through her, she will bend over backwards and jump through every hoop she can to make sure that her clients are taken care of. And we have been a party to that several times, and you guys have as well. I mean, she just does amazing things here in Panama. But again, just thank you guys so much for talking to me about what happened. And yeah, like I said, hopefully we'll prevent this from happening to someone else.
Well, on a side note having to do with the insurance, when we took our shortcut across the mountains, we were totally out of communication with it. There were no cell service. There was nothing up there. And she said the insurance company would have covered it probably had we reported it. We didn't know where to report it. Yeah. And the fact is that when we got out, it was drivable. Everything was okay. I mean, it was bent.
Right. Bent, not broken.
But mechanically, it was okay. So.
Oh my goodness. So you guys are adventurers.
So report any damage as soon as you can.
As soon as you can. Absolutely. All right. Well, you guys settle down somewhere and kind of chill out on the adventures for a little bit.
Oh, we're having fun.
Oh, we are.
That's wonderful. All right. Well, thank you guys very much. And everyone else, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click notify. All of the information will link in the video description below. Make sure you join the I Go Panama Facebook group as well. And we'll see you next week. This is why you always stay until the very end, because I was actually sitting down and processing the video that we had just created when Scott and Jackie sent me a message on Facebook with an absolutely genius pro tip about how to prevent this at all. They said it would be best to get a picture of whoever is asking for money and send that to a friend. I will take it one step further and say, ask them for a picture of their cedula as well. Every Panamanian has a cedula. It's no problem. And if someone is there to help you, they aren't going to have an issue with you taking a picture of their cedula before you give them money for something. If someone's there to scam you, obviously they're not going to want to give you that information. So that's an amazing pro tip. Guys, if you find yourself in the same situation as Scott and Jackie found themselves in the middle of this massive choreographed mechanical issue with their car scam, ask for a cedula, get a picture of the people, and that's going to solve about 99% of your problems. And any other 1% problems you have, Estefany Morales will take care of it for you.